What up, everybody? You're now tuned into the True Definition of a Sports Fanatic. I'm your host, Brandon Lampley, back again today with another live. I'm here with Mr. John Reid, who covers the Jaguars of the Florida Times-Picayune. We're going to recap the draft. We're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers. We're going to talk about Uncle Drew and Kyrie Irving. It pains me to talk about Kyrie Irving because he just seems to just march to the beat of his own drum and not for doing things for the team. But we got to get into it. And the Lakers' woes. Paul George and can he lead the Clippers? We're going to break all that down, man. But how you doing today, Mr. Reid?
Hey, man, doing good. Survived the draft.
Man, I can just imagine how crazy it was during the draft for you. Like, especially that first night. I know we talked about it on the phone. Like, it does not take 4 hours to draft a first round. Like, I'm not understanding why it takes so long.
Man, just going out there to the stadium and, they had that draft party on Thursday night and just seeing the excitement from the fans. They got the franchise quarterback. It was pretty good scene out there, all the cheering and everything. So hopefully it'll be a new day.
Hopefully so, man. Hopefully so.
No more Blake Bortles.
No more Blake Bortles. Please bring me sunshine, man. Bring me sunshine. So I know as far as the one of the surprises, especially for I guess Jaguar fans, they drafted a lot of guys that people didn't readily recognize because they drafted Little, they drafted Tyson Campbell, even Andre Cisco, which I knew of Andre Cisco already, and I think that guy's a ball player. I just think he caught a bad break with a torn ACL, but I think if he comes back healthy, we have an eraser on the back end. I mean, 13 turnovers in 15 games. I mean, the kid can ball. Tyson Campbell, I understood that. Speed. When he constantly preached speed, so I was like, okay, so he's going to get faster, and that's exactly what he did. My favorite quote from him was the one about Kadarius Toney. He said it broke his heart. He wanted Kadarius Toney. We talked about that. I was like, Kadarius Toney at 25 is a good pickup, man. Especially you want to talk about getting faster. That dude is electric.
Yeah, big play guy, man, and just I appreciate his Urban Meyer. I appreciate his forthcoming. A lot of times coaches wouldn't admit, man, we had this guy on our draft board, and boy, he got away from us. And that's a good thing to know that he's being real and being honest and things like that. And it's no slight to Travis at the end, but man, hey, Tony is a game breaker.
Yeah, he is. He is.
And Giants got a good player, man.
Yeah, and ETN is no slouch. You want to get faster, and you got faster. I think ETN. I think they're going to split him out wide from time to time as well. He had over 1,000 receiving yards in his time at Clemson. And so hold on, let's see who is this. Jakar say Luke Farrell not fast. Brevin Jordan went a few picks after him. I mean, Luke Farrell's not fast, but you can always get faster at the tight end position, but he got faster. They got faster where they wanted to get fast. If they wanted Brevin Jordan, they would have got him. They had a chance to get him. If they wanted Kenny Yeboah, who I did like from Ole Miss, he absolutely ripped up Monroe Tide when they played Ole Miss during the season. But if they wanted those guys and they thought those guys would help them, they would have took them. I don't think Tim Tebow's the answer at tight end, but that's a whole other conversation.
Well, I don't like the choice, man. I thought they were going to get a pass catching receiver, but according to that was something that they couldn't get at the spots that they wanted to. But I don't agree with them getting two blocking tight ends. You got one in the draft. I mean, you got one in the draft, and then you got one in free agency.
Right.
Brevin Jordan was there, but who knows? I mean, they could make a trade to get a veteran. They can go get the tight end that from Jacksonville that played with Atlanta, who's on the trade block. So I think
Hayden Hurst.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things in the play, and I also say this: From what I'm hearing, Tim Tebow going to be with the Jaguars.
I'm
So
hearing
he
that too.
as a third string tight end, but I think it's going to be a third string tight end / coach.
Yeah,
And what it doesn't hurt to have a guy like him in the locker. I mean, for his presence on a young team, the guy works his tail off. I don't think he's an NFL tight end at 33 years old and be 34 soon, but
yeah,
he's a drawing card, and maybe this is what the franchise should have did years ago. I don't know, maybe he would have been the answer at quarterback, but he definitely would have been an answer to getting the fans here in our area excited for the Jaguars having him on the roster. But
yeah,
you know,
yeah. I mean, and he did that to himself. A lot of fans don't know. Well, they didn't get Tebow. I was like, Broncos gave him a choice. They said you can go to New York or you can go to Jacksonville. From what I heard, Tim Tebow chose New York. He chose not to come to Jacksonville. Jacksonville was the best place for him to start. He didn't. He chose to turn his nose up at the opportunity for whatever reason. Look, and after all of that, look where it led him, right back to us. So he should have chose us from the beginning.
yeah, Urban Meyer said, "Come on, we'll take you."
Yeah. See, Jakar say major players and undrafted free agency too. Yeah, we did. We picked up some gems on undrafted free agency. We did.
Yeah, I like Jalen Moses. He's good, man.
Oh yeah, man. I watched Dylan Moses' whole career. Yeah, I think that kid's a player. See, Michael Wilson say Tim Tebow at tight end would be a favor to him. Oh yeah, I mean this is his relationship with Urban.
Yeah.
Let's be real. That's what this is about. This isn't about anything else. It's about his relationship to Urban. Hey, Shannon Sharp was he's a clown, man. He was clowning to my why you just let him be the team chaplain. I mean, he'll do good in that role. Just let him be the team chaplain. He doesn't have to go out there and play. I mean, we talking about a guy who's never played tight end. He's never blocked anybody. He's never ran a route. He's never caught a pass. And he's talking about going to be a tight end at 33, about to be 34 years old. I said, man, Shannon, stop making sense.
But you know what? I'll say this: as bad as that tight end room been over the last 3 years, it's not going to hurt them to have Tim Tebow on that team. If you look at the stats, they had out of that whole room, they only had 2 touchdowns among 4 tight ends this past season. And Tyler Eifert is not even here anymore.
Yeah, yeah. So you get what Tyler Eifert's gone. They traded Josh Oliver to the Ravens, which it'll be hilarious if Josh Oliver gets healthy and contributes for the Ravens. I think that would be on brand for Jaguar football for him to go contribute somewhere else. Let's see. Jakari say, I think Urban really drafted and is running off sentiment. Let's see, running off sentiment. Well, when it comes to Tebow, yeah, but when it comes to them drafting, I think those are calculated moves, man. I think he bet on potential with some of them, but we got better instantly at a couple of positions.
Well, let's go to the second first round pick. I mean, Travis Etienne. I mean, come on. I like James Robinson. He had a great rookie year, undrafted, over 1,000-yard rushing. But James Robinson can't do the things that Travis can do. I mean, his natural speed, he's going to be like a nightmare matchup for opponents, man. Because, like you say, you can even put him in a slot receiver spot. You can spread him out. You can run those jet sweeps, in arounds, and I think he'll do a much better job than LaVisca running those in around and jet street plays. And it's always good to have a weapon. Especially good to have one that what he running like a 4.3 40. They clocked him at 4.4, but at the Clemson Pro Day he ran like a 4.3 4.40. And then you look at what in his college career, man, he had over 1,600 yards rushing. I think this crazy number of touchdowns. I mean, he's a guy that's a big play guy, and he demonstrated that at Clemson, and I think it's going to transfer over to the NFL. I mean, you get him on the outside, it's going to be hard to catch him. So, and this Jacksonville team, they need weapons. You can have the greatest quarterback in the world, but if he ain't got people to throw to or hand off that got big playability, then they're a liability. So they
Yeah.
have big play performers and know how to, you know, get space and then take it another notch. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, this kid is. I mean, you can just go back and watch some of his highlights. I mean, I don't think he had a bad game in 3
Yeah.
years. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. He's the ACC all-time leading rusher
Oh,
with the almost 4,000 rushing yards, over 1,000 receiving yards, and 70 touchdowns. I mean, the stuff
70.
is.
Good Lord.
And then
Yeah.
remember that he played. You know, he was the starting back for them, but for him to be able to get those type of numbers in an offense where you had multiple top receivers in Trevor Lawrence and a couple of good tight ends where they aired the ball out, and for
Yeah.
him to get those type of numbers in that offense is impressive.
But you know what, man? Can get around the edge and just give him a little bit of space, and he can take it to the house. You got a special player.
You do.
You
You
know.
do. It's that simple. You do. You have a very special player. So, what can you tell me about Tyson Campbell? Because I didn't hear much about him leading up to the draft, and I've heard a little bit about him since they drafted him.
Well, you know, he's a 5-star recruit down at Plantation American Heritage, and he didn't really live up to that 5-star status because he only had one interception in 3 seasons with the Bulldogs. But this is a wake-up call, man. I worked on a story on this today that you know, this sends a message to C.J. Henderson that, man, you on the clock. You know, you gotta
Yeah,
be a little more durable, and you gotta act like you really want to be you know, you gotta start putting that fire into your and hustle and all those things, and
yeah,
you know, no longer a rookie, and there's nothing wrong with having competition. You know, and they're gonna have a competition at that outside cornerback spot. But I think that Tyson Campbell going to be like the nickel cornerback, you know, physical guy. And hey, other than Travis, he might be the second fastest guy on the team. I mean, he's been clocked at a 4.2, something like that. So he's
yeah.
extremely fast.
And he's a returner, isn't he?
Yeah, I think, yeah, he's a returner. And just, you know, a lot of people said that, you know, he was in the right position to make plays, but he couldn't come down with the ball.
Yeah,
I think Pitts in that Florida Georgia game, he was smothered him, but you know that didn't stop him from catching that touchdown pass on him. So
yeah,
I think that you know you look at if he plays to start. Well, I think he will start at the slot if he doesn't move out, CJ. But it's an upgrade from Trey Herndon. You know, Herndon is a good player. He moved into that nickel cornerback spot, but he doesn't have the speed, man. And they took advantage of him a little bit last season. And
yeah,
here you got a guy it's what Urban Meyer said all along, to get more speed on the field. And this guy he's a bigger version of C.J. Henderson. He's like 6'1", it might be like 205 or something like that. But
mm-hmm.
I think it was a good move. A little surprised that they had done you know, they invested a lot. I looked on something today. They invested it's like 19. If you look at the position spending on defense, the cornerback spot is the second most. It's like 19 million on the cornerback position. You know,
Yeah,
the only position ahead of that on defense is the linebackers, and that's because of Miles Jack and Joe Schobert's contract. But you know, let's be real. I mean that that was not a particularly strong position last year. They had a lot of injuries, but they were signing guys.
oh
Greg,
man,
yeah, I think it was Greg Maben was signed in December, and I know he was signed at the end of November, but started like the final 3 or 4 games of the season, and he like
yeah,
basically off the street.
yeah,
So to upgrade that position, and they're going to play a lot more man to man. They got the speed to play it, and they're going to play more man, which is a good thing. I thought that all along over the last season, last 3-4 seasons with the way they played defense, I thought they played too much zone a little bit. But to play straight up man, and then you got
man,
Shaq on the other side, you know, you can gamble a little bit more, and it helps those safeties, Rayshawn and guys like that. So I think that was a good move, but I wasn't expecting. But realistically, I don't know if they had to get Tyson Campbell at that spot. He might have been available
later.
Later in rounds,
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is. They got speed, and they're putting C.J. Henderson on notice. He's got competition. This is not a free starting job because you're the 9th overall pick, and you got to work at it. And C.J. is coming off a labrum surgery. Don't know what his timetable or coming in. He probably will be ready for training camp, but he's on notice, man. He didn't have had a great first game, but he didn't have a great season in those 8 games that he. So he's gotta you gotta want it. I don't know. I don't see that want. I don't see that fire. This guy gotta come in here and get.
From his draft day, just his body language on draft day when the Jaguars drafted him, it didn't seem like somebody that was very excited to come to Jacksonville. You could read too much into things, but that's what I saw, and that's what I'm seeing now. I mean, like you said, that fire, that will to want to be here. I mean, hey, regardless of whether you wanted to be here or not, hey, Reggie Bush didn't want to go to the Saints. Warren Sapp didn't want to go to the Bucks or the Yucks, as he called them. I mean, it's a lot of players didn't want to go a lot of places, man, but you got to make it work because you will be out of the league if you do not make it work here in Jacksonville. So he got to figure that out. Let's see. He said, we don't want Arian Foster Jr. talking about James Robinson. Well, he doesn't really remind me of Arian Foster. Arian Foster was more of a slasher. James Robinson is more power to me. James can slash a little bit, but that kid is pure power. His vow was to get faster this offseason. So we'll see. Hey, he got some motivation to get faster.
And that's what it's all about, Brandon. When you add talent on there, there's no assured anything in the NFL. Right. You don't have guaranteed spots unless you're Aaron Rodgers or somebody, but you don't have anything guaranteed in this league. And to add talent to talent, it's only going to make James Robinson a better player. It's going to make C.J. Henderson a better player. And that's what you want. You want to create competition at practice. So if you can handle practice, you can handle the games. And if you know your job is on the line every day that you go out there and practice, and this guy is pushing me, and I gotta produce, then you're gonna produce on Sundays like you produce on Wednesday. So, I think it's a good thing, and I think competition gonna push a guy like DJ Chark, because I think Marvin Jones is gonna push him. He's gonna be that leader of the room. He immediately came out of free agency, and the oldest guy in that receivers room, and he's a good, he's a good leader, but he's a good talent, and I think he's gonna push DJ Chark to the limits. That's what he needs.
Yeah. So Jakari said, I like Herndon in the nickel, 1 sack and 3 tackles for loss last year, and the nickel and tackle number increased every year. I mean, that sounds nice, Jakari, but I associate 2 words with Trey Herndon: barbecue chicken. Like, the dude gets roasted, man. He loses too many battles, especially on the outside. He may get better in the nickel, and you may be able to hide him some, but do not put him on the outside. It is a wrap on the outside. And he was saying that them running James in the dirt like Houston did Arian Foster. I agree with that, though. You don't want to run James Robinson into the dirt. You got Travis Etienne, you got Carlos Hyde. You don't have to run James Robinson 35 times a game.
Well, you won't have to worry about that this season. He got ran into the dirt last year because they didn't have nothing. But believe me, his carries won't be anything like last season. So they got to share the load. And I like the three running, but even Carlos Hyde, Carlos Hyde had a bad experience here in Jacksonville on the first stunt he was here. But
he did.
I think that you look at James Robinson, you look at that running style that Carlos Hyde have, physical backs, and then you have the speed back in Travis. So I think that's a good thing. But he won't get as many. I don't know I can't recall what his total rushes was last season. But it won't be anywhere near that this year for James Robinson.
Right. and as he with him missing 2 games, so yeah, I don't think it'll be there. You see, they took 2 gambles after Tyson Campbell and Walker Little and Andre Cisco. Both Andre, he tore his ACL. They had the unfortunate ACL tear, or else he probably would have been the first safety taken.
Yeah.
Now Walker Little is different. I don't think Walker Little hasn't played in 2 years or something like that. It was a year and a half.
He played 1 game since 2018.
Yeah, 1 game.
Yeah, 1 game, and that was a season opener in 2019.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, but I'm hearing good things about him. But man, that's a lot. Hey man, in order to be a good player, you got to be on the field. But I think he's a good piece as far as development. He's size-wise, he's 6'7".
Yeah.
A little over like 340 or something like that. But hey, this is another move to put another player on notice.
Yes, it is.
I've been telling you on this show before that left tackle is critical. You got to protect Trevor Lawrence's blind side. And if you go back and look at the tape of Cam Robinson over the last 2 years, his technique is nothing wrong with the run blocking, but his pass protection technique, it's just like he has flaws. He drops his hips, his foot movement, he chops steps when he's backpedaling, and this Walker Little coming in there, and if Cam doesn't produce consistently, I wouldn't be shocked once this guy get back healthy, full 100% healthy, that by November, who knows, you might see Walker Little playing at that left tackle spot. And this is also on notice for Juwan. Juwan gave up a lot of sacks. And if you go on those PFF ratings, I think he graded like about a 54. And he had the lowest grade out of the starting offensive linemen. So he's a great run blocker, but he's young, and he's got to improve his technique as a pass protector, just like Cam. But this Walker Little can play both sides. He can play right or he can play left. And this, they're not looking for something immediately from Walker Little. But once he get into the program and he continue to progress with that knee injury and just get rehabbed and get fully into this offense, hey, this is a 1-season year for Cam. They're not going to extend him. He's going to play that franchise tag out, and then they're going to move on from him after this season. So he's on notice, just like CJ.
Yeah. Said Jakar say Little was the number 1 recruit coming out of high school. Yeah, his talent. I heard no one question his talent. Mel Kiper, Todd McShay, all those guys. No one questioning Walker's talent. Is just his ability to stay healthy and stay on the field. They praised his talent. They said he's heavy-handed. He's a bully. I watched him crashing people, pushing people to the ground. They had the one highlight where he got the guy twice, pushed him to the ground twice. So the guy can play, man. And then they went D-line. So what? Jay Tufele, the D tackle from USC, and then Jordan Smith, the edge from Alabama Birmingham. So that right there, that's competition once again. I mean, you got DeJuan Smoot, you got Josh Allen, you got Caleb Monchason. Well, hey guys, meet Jordan Smith, a guy that's hungry. Hey, meet Jay, another guy who's hungry. So, like you said, competition all around, and having depth on your D line is a play. You have to have depth on your D line. Look at the greatest defenses of the last decades, last decade or 20 years, and look at the depth that they've had on their defensive line.
And you look at Jordan Smith, man, he's not going to be a guy put his hand on the ground and be a defensive end coming off the edge. He's going to be that outside linebacker, which basically that's what he played at UAB. And boy, once he get with the system and his athleticism and his size, he like 6, I believe he's 6'6", and he can add muscle and weight to that frame. they might have a starter for like the next 6 years. And just imagine him, Josh Allen. I mean, they building, and I always say this, and this is one of the faults of Dave Caldwell. When you in a draft, you don't always have to look for the instant gratitude pick. You don't always have to just look. See, I got 9 picks, and I got to get something immediately from all 9. You don't really have to do that. I mean, once you get past, I say the 5th round, and if you got somebody that can grow into the potential, and you looking for long term, and I like the way they did that, because I and getting a sure thing. You're not taking chances. I thought I'm not gonna go in Division 3 when I haven't won. I done lost 9 losing seasons in 10 years, and I'm gonna experiment with a tackle like last year with Ben Barch and go get a Division 3 guy. No, but this Jordan Smith, when you look at his athleticism and you see the things, I mean, he was he was at Florida. He got into trouble at Florida, and then he went to the JUCO, and then he went to UAB. So he's talent, and then you look at his athleticism and his frame and all the things that he did last year, and he probably is a developmental player right now, but I guarantee you he'll be a rotational piece. But by the end of this season, or he'll be in that rotation by next season. And that's the kind of thing that you look for. Hey, they probably have a starter for the next 5 years, regardless of what happens this year as a rookie. So, you got to build your guys in your program. If you see somebody like him, obviously they targeted him because they moved up 9 spots to get him. So they saw something they liked in him.
Yeah. I mean, immediately he can come in and be a situational pass rusher. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have to know the intricacies and the ins and out of the game right now. Athletic ability, hey, let the dogs loose. Tell them to get on the field and go get the quarterback on the ground. It's very simple.
Well, I make this prediction. He'll be more impactful than Taven Bryan.
Oh man, yeah. Hey, when they announced that they declined his 5th-year option, I was like, duh. I mean, like we knew that was coming, and we knew that was coming. So that just let me know he's probably not going to make it out of the preseason. Like I don't see him making the 53.
Yeah, you're right. He may not make it past that. Yeah, I forgot about it, but I think he's on his way out, and he needs to be. I mean, you can't be a defensive tackle if you're not instinctive, and you can't get off a block. And you've been trying to do this since 2018, and you still got one pass rush move, straight ahead bull rush. You can't use your hands to get off a block. And the worst thing about Taven Bryan is, man, you can't fight the guard, the offensive guard, and then and the running back run right beside you on your gap, and you don't have the instinct to slide to get over, which is taught in Pop Warner.
Yeah, right.
And I don't mean to be harsh on the guy, but come on, man, I done seen the same thing since 2018. And he wasn't that good at Florida. He didn't make flash plays at Florida. I mean, that was and I just got to be about it. It was a bad pick. He hadn't developed, and he's not going to develop. If you can't develop as a 29th overall pick and hadn't developed since 2018, you're not going to develop. You'll be out of the league.
Yeah, he'll be out of the league. I mean, and then you come into a situation where you didn't have to play right away. You had, I'm talking about great defensive linemen ahead of you, great mentors. Dude, you sit up under Calais Campbell. You sit with Yannick Ngakoue. You got Marcel Darius. You had Avery Jones. I mean, dude, and you can't develop from that. So
he's been given every opportunity. I mean, believe me, he's been given more opportunity than 90% of that roster. I mean, he done had every way he can succeed, and he hadn't done it. And if he hadn't done it by now, he's not going to do it. So, and that's football. You a coach, a former coach. Yeah. Some things can be taught, and some things is God gifted, and the instinctive is God gifted. You can't You can't coach a guy and tell him, okay, well, you got to make sure you be instinctive enough to read a play and know that guy might come off your side of your gap, and you got to push yourself in position, because a running back is not going to run in front of you.
Right.
Because that's almost like for him to make a play, the running back got to run directly in front of him. He don't know how to go with angles. He don't know how to shift over and make himself to be into a play. And man, you can't do that in the biggest and the baddest league in this country. Then hey,
yeah, like something as simple as if the guard pulls, don't run up the field. Yeah, don't run up the field. You looking to get yourself killed if the guard pulls and you run up the field because somebody coming to clean you up.
Or can't find the ball carrier. It's been a game where he couldn't literally find the ball carrier. He turned around and like,
oh,
where you at? Are you in the game? And you played ball. You coach. You got to have concentration. Your mind can't be outside the stadium.
Man.
Or looking in the stands.
Right. It was worse taking Taven Bryan over Lamar Jackson than I would say it was taking the punter over Russell Wilson, because even the punter, even with the punter, Brian Anger, he was good. He was one of the best. When he was a Pro Bowler, at least he wasn't a bust. Taven is just. But we're gonna ease up on Taven. We're gonna ease up on Taven.
But we go back to Dave Caldwell. That was his pick. I'm on Dave Caldwell, even though he gone. But he gone.
Yeah, he gone. Right.
He gone.
So what was the biggest surprise of the draft for you? I think Trey Lance going 3 to San Francisco was a bit of a surprise for me. I didn't think he would go that high. I knew he would go first round and top half of the draft, most likely. I knew he wouldn't go past 15 at the Patriots, but to go 3 at San Francisco, I was shocked by that. And then Justin Fields falling as well shocked me a little bit as well.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I really didn't know what Atlanta was going to do, because, you heard all this speculating that they may not get to go for the tight end and all that. But it shook out. But you know what, man? I've been hearing all that chatter from San Francisco that they were going to go with Matt Jones and this and that. And I give them credit. They didn't show their hand.
No.
Because, and you know what? I have to say this. If you go back, and I don't care if it's Mel Kiper or whoever, none of these mock drafts turn out to be nothing like what happened.
Right.
Other than, a 6-year-old could have picked that Trevor Lawrence was coming to the Jaguars. But if you look at that, none of them, they're going to trade up. They're going to do this. They got Trevor right, and they got the number 2 pick right. After that,
that's it. Yeah, that was it. That was it. Now the no-brainer for me when he was picked there, soon as the pick was up, I was with my buddy, and as soon as the Patriots were on the clock at 15, I said Mac Jones. That was Mac Jones going 15 to the Patriots was a no-brainer. They don't really show interest like that. Bill Belichick is a shrewd operator, but the fact that they did, I said, yeah, this is probably where Mac Jones is going to go, and that's where he ended up going. Kadarius Toney went a little higher than I thought he would, because I thought he would be there at 25. I have no issue with him going higher than he did, because, like I said, I felt like he was a ball player. Christian Barmore going later than he did, surprised me a little bit. I felt like the 20s, somewhere in the 20s was a destination for him. And then Morig, the safety from TCU, I thought for sure he would be a first rounder, and him not going first round shocked me a little bit as well.
Yeah, everybody had him going no later than like 27th at the latest. So I don't know what happened there. I also was surprised with Leatherwood for Alabama. He went a lot higher than what a lot of people thought he was going to go. Some people
did
going third round.
Yeah.
I actually think he's a great player, man. I just think that he's a Pensacola native. And I think he would have been great here in Jacksonville as a tackle.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
I watched him do a lot of pancake blocks with Alabama.
Shoot, him and Dickinson, those two maulers on that line, man. Watching them game in and game out. Shoot, another one. He went higher, a little higher than I thought he would, and I'm not shocked he did. I thought he might be an option at 25 as well as Jalen Phillips, defensive end from Miami. I think that he may end up being the best defensive end in the draft, outside of Kwity Paye. But Jalen Phillips, I think, has it all.
Yeah, I agree. And I wasn't surprised that Alabama had 10 players drafted. I was a little surprised Ohio State had 10 too.
Yeah. I was a little shocked by that. But let's see. Well, it was one other one that I saw that Baltimore took Rashad Bateman, and I had some Baltimore fans. They're like, "Who is this guy? I've never heard of this guy." I said, "Hey, Rashad Bateman can play. Go watch his highlights. I think he'll be good for Lamar, but they still need more weaponry. Rashad Bateman, Duvernay, Hollywood Brown. That's not enough. That's not enough. I mean, I hope they're on the phone trying to get Julio away from Atlanta, and they better not let him go to the Titans or the Raiders. The Baltimore better be trying to get Julio there because they wanted DeAndre Hopkins, but they wasn't gonna trade DeAndre in the AFC. They wanted to move him to the NFC.
What did you think about Devontae Smith going to the Eagles and they traded up?
When I saw them trade up, I said Devontae Smith will go here. He didn't fall as far as I thought. That some projected him to fall, and I'm glad he didn't because he's only fallen because of his size. Like he was 6'1", listed at 6'1", 175 at Bama. He did the medical combine. He weighed in at 6 foot, 166. Okay, so what? I mean, Crabtree was listed at 6'3", 215. He ended up being 6'1", 205. I mean, it is what it is, But the guy can play. I mean, he reminds me of Marvin Harrison, man. The guy can play.
Yeah. I think he's the all-pro, man. I don't know. It won't be his rookie year, but I think that guy can play. He can ball, and I think he's going to be he's like going to be a transcendent star, man. And I think this league put too much attention on measurables.
Yeah, they do.
You got to measure this guy's speed, hands. He could find angles. He can get in between the gap and catch and then make it to the end zone. I mean, it almost to me, it shouldn't have been any question about his ability.
Right.
That should have been based on just this past season.
You say, but you guys are talking about NCAA champs. Bama had one of their best squads ever. Oh no! I know. I'm Roll Tide all day. Those are my guys. So yeah, you had one of the best squads ever. So them tying the record. Yeah, them tying the record for most players drafted in the first round. It didn't shock me.
No, it didn't shock me either.
Yeah. Like you said, what they say, Bama is 2 years ahead of majority of programs with the amount of talent that they got. Yeah, man.
And he's got a machine, boy.
Yeah, he does. Got a machine. All right. Well, I think talked a good little bit about the draft. I really want to recap the Jaguars draft and kind of talk about the Jaguars and get those and talk a little bit about the other picks. So I guess we'll move on to Mr. Aaron Rodgers. And we talked about Aaron Rodgers previously. We talked about the diva in him, and I just think he's a petty individual. Some of this he's brought on himself. But I will say this: I don't want to hear any more former quarterbacks talk. I'm tired of listening to them talk because every time they say something,
Brett Favre, then.
Yeah. Shoot, did you hear Terry Bradshaw on Aaron Rodgers?
But he got on him, didn't he?
Yeah, he said, I wouldn't budge. Let him gripe. Let him cry. Retire. You're 38. Go ahead and retire. See you later. And I said, man, those are mighty, mighty harsh words coming from someone who had an issue with his head coach, Chuck Noll. I'm like, come on, man. Come on. Yeah. I'm not understanding these guys, man. I'm not understanding. They went through the same things that these guys today are going through. And the jealousy is the money. You just mad because these guys are making more money, man. But Why are you throwing spears at the guys who are in the quarterback club? And you're not talking about scrubs. These guys can play. I mean, you can make an argument that Terry Bradshaw ain't on the level of Aaron Rodgers. You can make that argument. You got 4 Super Bowls, yes, but when it comes to just pure quarterback talent, he's not touching Aaron Rodgers or Deshaun Watson. But they got a whole lot to say.
Yeah, you're right, man.
See, Timothy say A-Rod is a diva at heart. Well, yeah, no, he is. And I almost forgot this. Him comparing his GM Gutekunst to Jerry Krause. I thought that was highly disrespectful to Jerry Krause. Jerry Krause is probably one of the best executives in NBA history. People could talk about him having Michael Jordan and all of that, but prior to Jerry Krause, what did Michael Jordan win? He won absolutely nothing. But prior to him drafting Pippen, getting Horace Grant, getting Scottie Pippen, basically building a team around Michael Jordan, he has nothing. So to compare Gutekunst to Jerry Krause is highly disrespectful. And if you watch The Last Dance, what I came away from The Last Dance when it came to Jerry Krause and them painting him as the villain of The Last Dance, I didn't see him as the villain. Jerry Reinsdorf is the villain to me because that is the puppet master. Jerry Krause was the puppet and Jerry Reinsdorf was the puppet master because he hired Jerry Krause because he was a dear friend and Jerry Krause was going to do what Jerry Reinsdorf said. So everything that Krause did, it was signed off by Jerry Reinsdorf. You better believe that.
And I'll say this. Who hired the head coach? When he was an assistant, not when he was a head coach. He made the hire him. So that says all you need to know right there.
That's it.
He saw talent as an assistant coach.
Right. Yeah, that's it. But Aaron, man, I just and then like you were saying, like for him to not get in front of the podium, stand at the podium and take on the questions, because people have questions now. Instead of him putting his views out there, he's hid behind saying things like certain staffers, him not wanting to be in Green Bay. We found that out because staffers in Green Bay, it was going around and he had told certain staffers he didn't want to come back. For him to do that bothers me a lot too.
But he got to grow up, man. I mean, he's 38. Everybody knows Father Time is coming. And if he want to go somewhere else and just, try to win a championship in another town, then just say that, But making excuses and calling the GM out, Jerry this and just, and he's percolating the issue. Like he the one spreading things that's getting out. If you want to express your views, get in front of go to ESPN, whatever you need to do. Let the world know what your views are and stop hiding behind, that we don't know if you said this, somebody said this, the Tweety Bird said this or what. But if you want out, then just say it. Don't make excuses about it, but just say it that you want to move on somewhere else. You don't think that you got your best chance to winning, Father Time coming, and you want to go somewhere else, which, where that might be, who knows, but it might be a worse situation than where you're at, So Aaron got to grow up, man, and Aaron got to stop being the king of Green Bay, He should have learned that lesson when he was there, when Brett Favre was there, who was the king of Green Bay. Everything that speaks and walks, everybody got to listen, and this is a league where, hey, Father Time gonna keep ticking. And the season gonna keep coming, and the game's gonna be played, and it doesn't matter whether Aaron Rodgers is in Green Bay or Minnesota or out of the league and doing Jeopardy. Nobody cares other than in Green Bay. So, he got to stop thinking that he's the God's gift, man, and just play the game till it's time to retire and move forth, and stop blaming everybody else, because it ain't all. You're not going to tell me Green Bay don't have talent.
Right. See, if A-Rod is traded, where would you guys place him? I don't know. I've been thinking about that, and I'm like, he's staunch on probably not playing this season. And the Packers are now making moves to try to put other quarterbacks on the roster because Jordan Love is currently their only quarterback under contract. So, I mean, I don't know. Chicago would have been somewhere I thought that he could go. I didn't think that Green Bay would ever send him there, but before Justin Fields, Chicago would have been a nice landing spot for him. But now with Justin Fields, I wouldn't bring Aaron Rodgers there. But other than that, man, I don't know.
And that's another problem. He starts voicing all this stuff after teams already targeting draft guys, making trades. And he started voicing all this stuff too late, you know? Yeah. And just like he said, Denver could be a place for him, but
Tim, man, Denver could be a place for him because John Elway, outside of Peyton Manning, he ain't got it right. So he's on the clock himself. So if I am John Elway, I'm on the phone with Green Bay. What do you want? Yeah. So the Raiders should be interested in Aaron Rodgers. Who else? Houston. Houston should be interested right now because they're talking about they're looking like they're not going to have Deshaun this year. And then moving forward, depending on how things go. So if I'm them, I'm inquiring about them to see what they want. I mean, it's a few places, but it's not a lot of options, man. We have way more good quarterbacks in this league than you had in previous years. Like, in the 90s, going into the early 2000s, there will probably be about 12 legit quarterbacks any given season. About 12. The other guys, they will be up and down. They might go in the top 12, and then they'll drop out of the top 12. But you had about 12. Now it's about 20 to 22, easy. And more has just came into the league, and guys who we think can play and play well for a long period of time. So spots for quarterbacks is becoming scarce.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad Jacksonville didn't fall into that and give up that number one to Aaron Rodgers.
I heard about that. Hey, I think it was Rick Ballou. Rick Ballou was talking about that, and he was like, did you agree or like that they took all the time off the clock before they made the Trevor Lawrence pick? And Rick Ballou was like, yeah. He said because you you're going to take Trevor, but there's just in case there's an outside chance and just absolutely outrageous offer comes across your desk, you got to entertain it. Like you got to see what it's about. So let's say they wanted the number one pick and they wanted Trevor, and they was going to give you Aaron, 2 firsts, and maybe another developmental player and some later picks. It's like you would have to think about that. I said, yeah, this is true. So, but I don't know, man. We'll see with Aaron Rodgers and where he ends up. But I just think that it does him a disservice for him to say things like this. Because him going against his GM, like Yannick Ngakoue going at Tony Khan did not help him. It didn't help him at all,
Not at all.
So,
well, we might see him on Jeopardy.
we might see him on Jeopardy. Yes, sir. All right, so we're going into our we about 50 minutes in. So let's transition the conversation. Go talk a little basketball before we get out of here. First on the list, man. And I hate criticizing him, but he just does things that make me criticize him. I love Uncle Drew. I love Kyrie Irving's one of my favorite players, man. But Kyrie, it seemed just like ever since his last year in Cleveland, where he pretty much forced his way out, man, he's just been a different guy. But maybe he's always been this, But I know that people are questioning his commitment to the Nets, and I understand it. Rightfully so. You're going to question his commitment because at any given time he could take some personal time and be away from the team. His chemistry with Kevin Durant seems to be a little shaky. And Kyrie just doesn't seem to be a leader because he refuses to speak to the media, and he got fined. You say Tim Price said mental health is a real issue, and I believe that too. I believe that too. They say once Kobe Bryant's death impacted Kyrie heavily. They say Kyrie was very, very close to Kobe Bryant, and when he passed, it affected him heavily. But man, you have to get in front of the camera, get on the podium, and you need to take the questions in and be a leader. Because when you don't do that, those responsibilities push on other people. I talked about it a couple months back when he refused to speak to the media. I said, you putting your teammates and your organization in the bind when you don't talk to the media, because the conversation is not about them or about the franchise or about their next game or their past game. It's about Kyrie Irving and why he isn't speaking to the media. And you're doing your team a disservice when you do that.
Well, let me add this too from covering the league. He just seems like he doesn't, even when he was with, anywhere he was at, particularly in Cleveland, it just always seemed like he wasn't, it just seemed like he's distant to everybody, not just the media. It just seemed like he just don't have a strong bond with his teammates,
Yeah.
You see him in the locker room, the other guys chatting with each other, and he's off in the corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the one fault I think of the NBA is, there's all this talk about whose team it is and all that. And I think that it can cause a little friction when you're an all-star and you bringing in these stars and everybody has this this persona about each, about themselves. Mm-hmm. And then you get in the battle of who team it is. I mean, come on, man. Just win the game.
Yeah.
Share basketball and just play the game, And I don't know. I mean, him and LeBron was frosty,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he said his last year in Cleveland, he pretty much isolated himself from all of his teammates.
Yeah. Well, it looks like he's doing that now, too.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's the alpha man, John. Exactly.
Yeah, I think so too. Kyrie comes off a little bit more of a Sigma male to me. Sigma males are those who, they kind of separate themselves from society. Because it wouldn't surprise me to see Kyrie once he's done playing, to see him he on TMZ and he got a ridiculous beard out here. His fro is out here, and he's like playing a cello or something in the mountains. Like that wouldn't surprise me, because that's the kind of person he seems to be to me.
You talking about basically Bill Walton?
Yeah, man. That's how Kyrie comes off, man. So it's interesting, and he's such a great talent, man. That's why he's still in the league. He's such a great talent. People going to put up with it as long as he can go ISO better than anybody in the league and finish at the rim. One of the best guards that can finish at the rim. He's going to always have a job. Less and less good teams are going to want to put up with it. But he'll always have a job.
The proof is in the pudding with the Nets, man. They've been playing pretty well and all that. Once these playoffs start, we're going to see if that chemistry, the sharing of the basketball, is Garnett on the same page with Irving, if he's on the same, everybody on the same page. Because there's a lot of critics out there say that it's not going to work, man. You can't have James Harden, and I'm still a little bit surprised that James Harden is the facilitator and Kyrie said, oh, yeah, that's okay. I like that. I can play off guard. But there come crunch time. I want to know, will that work out when they get in a tough playoff series in the third round or something like that and see. That's what I'm putting.
I had an episode. I did an episode solely on them where I did a short live about talking about them when he was traded. And I said it right then and there. I said the person who's going to have to make the greatest transition and who's going to have to adjust the most is Kyrie Irving, not James Harden. I felt like James Harden can go into the role of facilitator if need be, and he's flourished in that position. But I say because he's done it before. Think back to his days at Oklahoma City when he used to come off the bench. I said, you've seen him do it. I said, Kyrie, on the other hand, him playing off the ball and him being satisfied with his role of being a spot-up shooter, we haven't seen that, and I don't think we are going to see that. And then on top of that, these guys only have played 7 games together. The issue was always health. Hey, Durant has issues with his health. He can't stay completely healthy. He's still dealing with that thigh contusion. Kyrie, same thing. At any given moment, something can break down on him, and he's done for the season. And now James Harden has that. I think it's a hamstring.
Yeah.
So and they're holding him out until the playoffs start, of course. As a precaution. But if any one of them miss any significant time during a series, dude, you got to play Philly, you got to play Miami, you got to play Milwaukee. You have to play any of those guys, and one of the big three are missing, you might be in some trouble.
Well, I say that James Harden very smart. He got the ball in his hand, and he's gonna be a facilitator. So if he got the ball in his hand, he ain't worried about what Kyrie gonna be doing. He gonna facilitate himself and getting shots and drive to the basket. That's a smart man.
Yeah.
Man. I really want to see how that.
Yeah, I saw a reel on Instagram, and it was Kevin Porter Jr. He's in Houston now. And dude, they pretty much put him and James side by side, and they're so identical in the moves they make, from the crossover to the speed, to getting to the rim and getting by people. Kevin Porter Jr. looks a lot like James Harden. Now, can he be on that level? Who knows? But he looks a lot similar to James Harden. I don't think he's as much as a ball hog though that he was when he was in Houston. And what's funny about him being a ball hog in Houston is that he can be a facilitator. He didn't have to be that, but that's what he was.
Well, he would say what time they're gonna practice, when they're gonna leave the road trip to go, what hotel. He was in control of all that. So that's why Russell Westbrook and Chris Paul, because they thought they were superstars too, man. I don't think he's got those privileges in Brooklyn, though.
No, I don't think so. Kevin Durant is the guy in Brooklyn. If anything, they're going to march to the beat of Kevin Durant's drum. What's hilarious is when Chris Paul and him supposedly broke up, and he said that Chris Paul called him fat and said he had man boobs, which is hilarious to me. And I think I do believe Chris Paul said that, because Chris Paul, he gets he doesn't get a lot of criticism for how he is sometimes, but that dude, he's a pit bull, man, and he has his ways.
Yeah, but he get on you though,
Yeah, he do. He do.
But another good story. Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I got you. I hear you.
I think another good story in the NBA right now is the way the Phoenix Suns are playing with Monty Williams. Man, that team they might end up winning the West.
Oh yeah, they're number one right now, and they're playing great ball. I mean, they can score with just about anybody. You see, Tim Rice say CP3 is a bully. Yeah, he is. He is. I think if you want to point to anybody in the NBA having the short man syndrome, the Napoleon complex, it's Chris Paul. It's good because you could just see it on the court, man. The dude's 10 inches taller than him, and like he's ready to punch dudes in the gut. Look like, So yeah, he is a bully. He bully guys big. He bully guys bigger than him, which is hilarious to me, man.
MVP. MVP.
Yeah. So what do you think about the Lakers right now? I think they just playing lame duck right now. They have some issues, but it's not anything that I think they should just overly worry about, especially once LeBron come back. Yeah, they 6th right now, and they're in danger of having to be in the play-in game. But this is Anthony Davis and the rest of them time to, I guess, right the ship and to get him in good positioning, because seeding, I don't think is really going to matter. Even with Phoenix being the number 1 seed, I don't think it's really going to matter, because you still got to beat LA you got to beat them 4 times in 7 games. And that's going to be hard for anybody in the West to do.
I just think right now they're trying to get the chemistry back. They had the injury situation. I don't think that Anthony Davis got his legs back yet. And then it's going to take time for LeBron to get his legs back. And then I think once they get the chemistry going, as long as they don't fall, even though I don't think it's going to impact them, even if they have to play and be in the play-in, but just having to play extra games and that kind of thing. And I think if they be a 6th seed, I don't foresee that as being a problem.
No.
As long as they can withstand injuries, don't have any major injuries during the playoffs. I just think they got it's like a more of a speed bump in the road that they just, you got to get you. I mean, when you miss that amount of games and you got guys filling roles that not used to playing that type of role, and you don't have your guy because you really think about it. Look how much of the offense is being initiated or applied to LeBron and Anthony Davis, and when you got those guys out, it just changes everything. Everybody's role changes too, But I think once those guys come back and they fully healthy, got their legs under them, I don't foresee them being like, oh yeah, they can be eliminated in the first round. Anything can happen, but
Yeah.
I don't see.
Yeah, because the West.
Road.
Yeah, that's all. They say Lakers
Yep.
playing sleep, guys. They will wake up in the playoffs, but they might have to play hard to get to the West Finals. Yeah, I think a few teams have a chance to jump on them a little bit and get about 2 games out of them, and maybe have a
Yeah.
series at like a 2-2 and have them sweating a bit for certain. But I just don't see a team beating them 4 times in 7 games. I don't see that happening. I don't think Phoenix can do it. I don't think Phoenix has enough. The Clippers, I don't think the Clippers can do it. Utah, I don't think Utah can do that. Denver definitely can't do that, especially without Jamal Murray. Don't want to write him off without Jamal Murray, but Jamal Murray is an amazing player, and not having him is going to show in the playoffs. So, I mean, I don't see it, man. I think we playing with semantics here at this point. Now the East is different. Even with the Nets being what they are, they're gonna earn that East crown, man. They are. They're gonna earn that East crown, especially if they're not healthy. They're gonna really, really have to earn that East crown.
Yeah, you talking about the Nets? Yeah.
Yeah. They're gonna have to earn it.
I don't know what to make of Philly, man. I don't know if they're legit. I don't know about Doc in the crunch time, so it doesn't impress me when they been at the top or near the top of the standings all year, man. Them playoffs can roll in there, and hey, will they be the same old Philly or it's gonna be something different?
Right. Yeah, and Philly is an enigma because they can play well from game to game, but then as soon as Ben or Embiid get a paper cut, that's your season,
Yeah.
So I mean, and then Doc, what's so hilarious about Doc? Doc has the most Game 7 losses in NBA playoff history, but he also has the most Game 7 wins in NBA playoff history. So it's like, I just
like slicing bread, man. You don't know what the number is.
I mean, you don't know. So Philly's a question mark. Milwaukee beat the Nets twice. And I think Milwaukee can make some noise as well, but I don't know. I don't see the Nets rolling through the East like people think they're going to roll through. Yeah, because yeah. And if health don't catch up with them, chemistry. They've only played 7 games fully healthy as a team, so I don't see it, man.
You got to think about a hamstring injury. Is he going to be back at full speed for the playoffs? James Harden, is he going to be back or what?
Right. Because hammies are so tricky, man. Hammies are so tricky because you can take off the necessary couple of weeks you need to take off, come back and it tighten up, and you got to sit out a couple of more weeks. It just happens that way, So let's see. Timothy Wright say Philly could be those guys, though. They could. That's the enigma. They could be those guys. Then they also could be a flop. I mean, it's 50-50. It's a coin flip.
We've seen the flop feelings before. I mean, we've seen that happen before. So I would not be a betting man on the 76ers right now. Because you don't know, they can just collapse at a moment's notice.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe Doc will be different. I don't know, but
yeah. I know one part of the playoffs that I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see the Clippers because if Paul George falls on his face again, it's going to be must-see TV. I'm just saying, it is. It is. You've had other players in the league come out in his defense, saying that he needs more respect because he's a great player and all of these things. But the issues and the criticism that Paul George has came under is his own doing. I mean, you can't nickname yourself Playoff P and then do what you did last year in the playoffs. Like
no.
you can't do things like that.
I don't know what the chemistry is right between him and Kawhi. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I think I see them. I think that obviously a good team, but I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna see in the playoffs with those guys, man. It just seems like you can take them out of things a little too easy, in my opinion. You can take them out of things that they like to do, and they ain't the greatest defensive team, even though they got a good defensive guard. So I don't know.
And that's what puzzles me about the Clippers. Let's see. Tim Wright says Ben and Big Bird got to bring it every night. Yeah, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. They have to be all-stars every single night. PG-13 will fall and end his time with the Clippers. Oh, Tim calling it now. He said it's over. Tim said it's over now. Because that baffles me that you have two of the best wing defenders in the entire league and they struggle defensively. Like, I was telling a buddy of mine, we was talking with some buddies at a party the other night, and we were talking about the next wave of talent after LeBron James leaves. And I said, the future is bright. From Zion Williamson to Ja Morant, Anthony Edwards had one of the best shooting games that Brian Windhorst said he ever seen. LaMelo Ball. I mean, you got some young talent that's coming up. You still got the Greek Freak. Who's just stepping into his prime, and he's a two-time MVP already. So the league, I think, will be in good hands. It's just that with Paul George and with he's saying who might be the greatest out of all of them coming up. And I said this may be a stretch. It may be a stretch, but I watch him give Paul George and Kawhi Leonard absolute buckets, and they couldn't stop him. And that's Luka Doncic. I love LaMelo. I love Zion. I love all those guys, man. These are good players. But Luka Doncic, man, I think is going to be one of the best, man. I think he's going to be better than Dirk. And Dirk was great.
Yeah. You get no dissenting argument from me. Boy. And another thing about him, he talk trash. I've actually seen him talk trash on the court. I think, Lord have mercy. What are we back to Larry Bird?
Yeah.
He can, man. I think they got to put a little bit more talent on that Mavericks team with him. But boy,
yeah, they do. And then you hear about his relationship with Kristaps and how that relationship is. They're not buddy. They say they're not buddy. Yeah. And I said, that's interesting. I mean, they don't have to be the best of friends. I mean, their own court chemistry is great. Everybody's not going to be best friends, off the court or off the field. It is what it is.
Yeah, well, they're ahead of the Lakers, right? Ain't they fifth seed? I think
so. See, Brandon Lampley, no argument for me. He is smooth. Yeah, Luka's smooth, man. Luka's smooth.
Hey, he can shoot that contested jump shot. He's definitely smooth.
Right.
He comes right in the same spot and shoot it once, twice, three times, and it still can't stop it. So.
Yeah.
Got all the respect in that regard. He can play, man.
Yeah, he can play.
He definitely can play.
Yeah.
And I've been watching my old team, man. I don't know what to say about my Pelicans, man.
Lonzo's playing better.
Yeah, he is, but I just don't think I don't think the coach. I mean, you can't have a coach and they're making the same mistakes they're making that when Gentry that they can't defend the 3-point line.
And that's what games are won and lost today.
And they played Golden State twice in the back-to-back game. The first game, I think Golden State had like 16 threes and like 13 of them wasn't even contested.
13 open threes? Oh, my God.
Yeah. Couldn't even contest them. I mean, my man was putting on a show. Stephon, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, the Mavericks are fifth, so yeah, they right above the Lakers. So the highest the Lakers can go is fifth anyway, because the Clippers and they at 44, Nuggets at 44, Suns 47, Jazz at 48. So only people the Lakers can catch is the Mavericks and get to that fifth seed. And if they get to the fifth seed, it's them versus the Clippers in the first round, and that will be must see TV because we wanted to see that last year and we didn't get to see it.
So that'd be Lakers and Clippers in the first round?
Yep, because that's the fourth and the fifth seed. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that'll be.
But that's if they get to the fifth seed. They're at the sixth seed now, so they will play the Nuggets if they went in now. And I think they got the Nuggets. I think they'll beat the Nuggets, especially without Jamal Murray.
Well, when is LeBron coming back? Is he back?
They say he's day to day. Saying Curry dropped 41 that first night. Dude, Steph Curry has been absolutely out of his mind, man. Steph Curry has been so good. People has been questioning his all-time greatness and how great he really is. And people putting him on the Mount Rushmore of NBA players, talking about him being one of the whether he's the top 2 point guard. Like he's forcing his way into greatest of all-time conversations with his performance right now. It's amazing to see.
Man, it's just amazing to watch some of the shots. You know, a lot of those shots be 40 feet, and he like facing the basket awkwardly. They jumping off the wrong foot, and it still go in. I said, Lord.
I've never been. I know players have never been more scared was for somebody to step across the half court line. Like as soon as he get cross half court, you got to be in fear because he can jack it up as soon as he steps across.
Yeah, Lonzo Ball, boy, he had a rough night when Steph was scored that 41 on. He go by 36 on Ball.
Yeah.
I like the way they move the ball. You know, they're not the team of the past and all that, but boy, I love the way they move the ball, man.
Yeah,
that move,
ball don't stick.
That ball move, boy, you put the defense on it like a string, and you leave a guy open, he take the shot, man. Yeah. They about 2-3 years away.
Yeah. See, not to mention he changed the flow of the game. Oh, Tim Wright, that's unquestioned that Curry changed the flow of NBA basketball. He did. I mean, he changed it. He made teams get better at shooting threes. Period. Yeah. Like that's what he's done. He's made teams get better at shooting threes because him and Klay Thompson. Yeah. So LeBron James is reportedly planning to return next week. He said, yeah. So he's supposed to return next week. Yeah.
Man, I thought the playoffs start next week.
Yeah, he said he returned to the lineup next week. He's going to miss Sunday's game. I think they play the Suns Sunday. Yeah, miss a Sunday game against the Suns. He say come back next week when Lakers play their final 2 games of the regular season at Staples Center. So he'll be coming back for the final 2.
Well, that's good enough.
That's good enough. That's it.
That's good enough. He played get 2 games in before the playoffs. That's okay. He'll be back.
Yeah. Because you got to know that he's still in great shape, even with him not being able to work as much with the ankle. He's still in great shape. Yeah, I know his eating and all of that. Like he's going to come back, and it's going to take him a little bit to get his wind or whatever. But 2 games is enough.
Oh yeah. He'll get back in the flow. AD getting ready now. I see no problems.
Yeah. LB will really rest until playoffs. They will limit his minutes. Yeah, in those 2 games. I wouldn't be surprised in those 2 games he played a combined probably less than 40 minutes, combined 40 minutes in those 2 games. 20 minutes each game probably. That's unless they are backs against the wall and they try not to be in that play-in game, I don't really see him playing a whole lot.
Yeah, I don't want him to get in no play-in games, boy.
Right.
Let them Memphis and Golden State and all them battle that out, man. Yeah. So.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, man. This was once again, man. This was fun, man. Yeah. No, I tell people all the time, man. It's this is therapeutic. It's a joke. This girl, she say, why do men start podcasts instead of going to therapy?
Hey man, this is have a lot to get off our chest, man. We watching the game and you see a knucklehead play and James Harden won't pass the ball. You can come right here.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Or when the Jaguars do something they ain't supposed to do, it'd be less venting this year though.
I think so. You say I will hold at sixth place not to play the Clippers. Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to see the Clippers in the first round, I mean you can stay at 6. Yeah, maintain at 6. But I mean, I don't think it's going to matter though, because even if they play the Clippers in the first round, I think they're beating the Clippers. I don't think the Clippers are going to be able to beat them, man. They're not big enough, So
or discipline, who knows? They might have Paul George or freeze up again, or something go wrong. Kawhi gets 6.
They go 1 for 12 down the stretch of a critical game or something crazy like that, man. You can't have that.
You gotta remember, they the Clippers.
Yeah, you have to remember that, man. You have to remember that they are the Clippers.
No matter what, they the Clippers.
Yeah,
they are
one of the worst.
The Clippers.
Yeah, one of the worst franchises in sports history. Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, this year won't be their year.
They are the Clippers. There's 2 teams in LA, but there's one. Well, I don't want to get into that, but the real team is.
Yeah. Definitely. All right, my people. He said also known as the Slippers.
Yeah.
He said great show, guys. Appreciate that, Tim. Thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate you. He said, hey, man, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. You see all my information down at the bottom. Hey, follow Mr. Reid on Twitter. Follow him on Facebook. All those good things. Check out his articles. He writes for Florida Times-Picayune covering the Jaguars, man. I appreciate it. I will be back. I don't know if I'll be back this week. Might be back next week. But we'll see. Because anytime somebody call me and they want to go live, I'm going live. Hey.
And that's Mr. Versatility. He ain't just talking about home runs and pass catching.
Hey. I gotta get it, man. Yeah, I gotta get it.
Yes, sir.
I tell people all the time, man. I told them from the beginning when I started doing sports, I said, hey, I'm just letting y'all know I do more than sports. I could talk it all. I just don't have to talk sports. I say it don't matter. Give me the topic and let me give me about a day or so to go over it, and I'll give you something educated on it, I promise.
Yes, sir. The Larry King of Jacksonville.
Hey, Mr. Leander brought that up. He said, you said you ever heard of Larry King? I said, yeah, Larry King. He said, Larry King live, man. He said, you go live. He said, that's what Larry did. He said, Larry hated doing recorded shows. He said he did 2 recorded shows his whole career, and he hated it because he felt like he was boxed in. So he said, from then on, you got to go live, man. You got to go live. So I feel that. I love doing it.
Yes, that's what you should call it. Lampley Live. Lampley Live.
That's it, man. That is it. That is it, man. That is it, man. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hey, we're going to sign off, man. We'll see y'all next time. Until, peace out.